This fortified guard station and water purification system will transform any settlement in the Commonwealth, and I'm going to show you exactly how to build them, step by step, with no mods or glitches, just simple snapping that works on every platform. And this guard station, you can build it in any settlement. It's not just for Murkwater. And definitely stay for the tour at the end. The Triggermen are about to find out that their grip on Murkwater is about to face something they never saw coming. Welcome back to the final episode of our Murkwater Outpost series. Today, we're wrapping up this settlement with 2 essential builds. So grab your tools and let's get started. The guard station will sit in the back corner of the settlement alongside the water purification system. We'll take advantage of the swamp water here by installing 2 medium water purifiers. The area will eventually be protected by a security fence and an elevated guard station equipped with laser turrets. Start by clearing any trees in this area. Place 2 medium water purifiers parallel to the settlement boundary and push them back as far as possible. This keeps them out of the way, while also giving us a visual marker for positioning the guard station. Before we begin building, here's a quick overview of my foundation placement. Your exact positioning doesn't have to match mine perfectly. The important thing is that the foundations remain inside the settlement boundary and that you have enough space for the water purifiers. I'm taking advantage of this ledge to place the first foundation. This structure will use mostly the warehouse set, so start by placing a warehouse foundation parallel to the settlement boundary. I pushed mine forward so it extends slightly out over the water on the left while still meeting the land on the right. Adjust the height so that the next row of foundations will sit fully above the ground. Behind this foundation, snap 3 additional foundations from left to right. The last foundation should sit above the ground as shown. For reference, here's another quick overview of the layout. Later in the build, we'll add additional flooring to create a small dock over the water. The next section highlights the importance of build order. To be able to get everything to snap together, I'm going to build the second floor first and then finish the lower level later. I'll explain as I go along. Start by snapping a door frame onto the last foundation that was placed. Next, snap a floor to the top of the door frame. To the floor, snap a sloped roof shack prefab. Snap an additional shack prefab to the left, and then 2 more on the opposite side. It should now look something like this. Now, add railings of your choice around the perimeter. The railings need to be placed before the walls. If the walls go up first, the railings won't snap into place. Now that the railings are in place, we can begin to add the walls. Add warehouse walls of your choice around the perimeter of the structure. For the 2 foundations shown here, snap door frames for the wide warehouse doors. Finally, snap 2 mesh floors to the back of the structure outside of the door frames. We'll return to this area later to add doors and supports. Now that the base is in place, we can finish it by adding a light tower to the guard station. To begin, we need access to the second floor. Create a small walkway by snapping a half wall above the doorway. The floor won't snap with the doorway in place, so temporarily move the doorway, snap the floor into position, and then replace the doorway. Finish by adding stairs to the end of the walkway. Here's a look at the second floor. Now let's get started on the light tower. At the top of the stairs, snap warehouse walls to the back and outer sides of the corner floor. Then add door frames to the 2 remaining sides. Next, we'll build the light for the tower. Find an open space on the ground and place a mesh floor. We'll assemble the light on the floor first and then move it to the top of the tower once it's finished. It's much easier to build it here where we have some room to move around. Place the large brown filing cabinet from the furniture container section on top of the floor. Center it using the middle beam as a guide. Next, place 3 wall lights like the one shown here on each side of the filing cabinet. Now select only the floor. Pick it up and snap it to the top of the tower walls. The light and cabinet will move with the floor and no group select is needed. To finish the tower, snap half glass warehouse walls around each side of the floor. The easiest way to do this is to build a temporary platform and then jump up onto the roof. To finish, snap on a roof and the light tower is complete. I'll show you how to power it up a little later in the video. Finish the exterior by adding support posts, railings, and a door to the front. On the back, add stairs, support posts around the dock, and the large barn or warehouse doors to the frame. If the doors won't snap into place, temporarily remove the prefab above the doorway, snap the doors on, and then replace the prefab. Finish the back by sliding ball and track supports underneath the outer corner. Now we'll enclose the water purifiers using the concrete walls with the mesh inserts to create a protective barrier. Start by placing the first wall at the corner of the guard station, raising it as high as possible. Check the alignment from above and adjust as needed. This area doesn't need to be perfectly straight, just make sure that the walls remain inside the settlement boundary. Next, move the water purifiers closer to the back of the structure to keep them out of the way while we add more walls. Extend the wall one section outward, then place 3 walls along the side. Add 1 additional wall across the front. Adjust the purifiers again, leaving enough room to place a shack bridge in front of them. This will create a walkway to access the purifiers. Close off the front by placing a gate at the end of the walkway and close any gaps between the gate and the wall using cement posts. For extra security, snap railings across the top of the cement walls. Now that the purifiers are in place, we'll need to wire it up. We'll use this area under the guard station to function as a secure generator room. To transfer power from the inside to the outside, slide the tall version of the pass-through conduit through the back wall. At the top of the conduit, snap on a single conduit junction. Now add generators. 2 medium generators will supply sufficient power for the purifiers, a few laser turrets, and some lights. On the outside, you'll see the exit point of the pass-through conduit. Use this to directly wire the purifiers to the power. I'll be adding laser turrets to the guard station, but if you just want to power the tower lights, place a wire connector to the corner of the prefab roof and then wire it to the purifiers. This is sufficient to power all of the lights in the tower. For security, I added 2 heavy laser turrets on the upper level, wired into the conduit on the roof. And for additional protection, I added a few machine gun turrets over on the factory side. I actually got attacked while filming this. It looks like the turrets are doing their job. Before we check in with the Triggermen, here's a quick look at our finished guard station and water purification system. So what did happen to the Triggermen? The fog returned to Murkwater, but this time it had nothing to hide. The ammo plant sat cold and dark. The bunkhouses were empty. The Triggermen and Big Jim had disappeared without a trace. No signs of a fight, just silence. It was as if the swamp erased the tracks of their existence and buried the truth beneath the mud. You've heard the story from the beginning, but not all of it. That first night in the cold fog, while out on patrol, a Minuteman scout wandered from his unit while charting routes through the southern marsh. When he saw the lantern in the distance, he thought that he found refuge. Instead, by morning, he found the Triggermen. He made his way back to the castle and reported directly to Ronnie Shaw. Ronnie didn't flinch. She had heard enough about operations like this. Men with big plans and short fuses, setting up shop where they thought no one was watching. And she knew exactly who to call. Nick Valentine had a history with the Triggermen, and he wasn't about to let another crew like that take root in the Commonwealth. Nick didn't rush in. That wasn't his way. He watched, patiently. He counted guards, tracked supply runs, noted the way Big Jim stayed comfortable upstairs while his crew rotted below. He listened to the steady clatter of the machinery and to the conversations of men realizing the payoff wasn't coming. And when Nick had what he needed, he reported back to Ronnie. An illegal ammo factory, supply lines running east to the coast, a crew held together by fear, not loyalty, and a boss who had made himself comfortable while everything around him was falling apart. It was the kind of problem the Minutemen were built to solve. Ronnie Shaw didn't waste time. The Minutemen moved in before dawn. No one knows exactly what happened to the Triggermen or where they went. Some say the crew had already left before the Minutemen even arrived. Weeks of cold nights and empty promises had taken their toll. They slipped into the fog to never look back. And Big Jim? Left without his crew, without his factory, and without the empire he thought he was building, he didn't put up a fight. Big Jim ended up where men like him usually do, behind a locked door with fewer friends than he remembered and plenty of time to think. Now, Murkwater's a different story. As you enter the settlement, you're greeted with a welcoming eatery on the right. The smell of oil and cheap booze? Gone, replaced by cooked food and clean water. The old bus? These days, it's where everyone gathers after a long day. With the swamp's endless supply of mirelurks, the kitchen turns out fresh mirelurk cakes, along with a few other Commonwealth favorites. The guard stations keep watch over Murkwater now. 2 stations, 4 guards. Every approach to the settlement they have covered. There's a comfortable sleeping area at the top for the Minutemen, a far cry from the cold posts Big Jim's crew used to pull. The second tower has commanding views of the majority of the settlement. From here, guards watch south over the bunkhouses and crops, and west across the open swamp. If anything moves out there, they'll see it first. And those cold bunkhouses, the ones with sleeping bags that smelled like stale beer, they have real beds now and enough room for everyone. The ammo plant still runs. Same machines, same output. But the bullets don't feed a black market anymore. They go to the settlements, to people that actually need them. Clean production and honest supply. And the loft above the plant, where Big Jim once ran his empire with an inflated ego and a bottle of whiskey, it's a proper bunkhouse now. Minutemen sleep where the boss used to scheme. Out in the swamp, the purifiers run day and night. Used to be, this place choked on the mud and the secrets. Now the filters pull clean water out of the swamp for the settlers who live here. No more filth in the swamp, no more dirt in the books. Big Jim was right about one thing. Murkwater is valuable. He just wasn't the one meant to keep it. It started as a secret that the swamp tried to swallow. Now Murkwater holds the line. If you missed any of the previous episodes in this series, I put a link to the playlist here. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to building with you next time.